Here's my review of something Dark Side. So, once again, it opens up with the Griffins watching a TV parody that I don't get, and the power goes off yet again. So, Peter decides to tell the story of The Empire Strikes Back. The opening title card reads, "A long time ago, when the gays weren't in your face about it." Yeah, Family Guy knows no boundaries. They make fun of everybody, including people they support. So, the opening scrolls for the special start, and it mentions that Fox let George Lucas have all the merchandising rights for Star Wars because they had no faith in the movie. Oh my god. Special! Is this your substitute for coming up with actual humor? Once again, you're pointing out something that most people know about. You're not getting any humor out of it. You're just stating the obvious. That's not funny! Hey guys. Guess what? Abraham Lincoln was shot. Also, Tim Burton was going to be the original director of Gremlins, but Joe Dante was hired over Burton because Dante had more experience as a director. And the sky is blue. See what I'm doing, manatees? I'm not being funny. Just like you! And then, the scroll says that the crew of Family Guy can't waste their money, so the CGI elephant hops across the screen. La 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 la. La 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 la. Alright. So, it shows the Imperial Star Destroyers, and Elroy Jetson flies out of one of them. You know, I would laugh at that, but there's one problem. It's not trucking funny! Seriously, manatees! How many ducking dimes do I have to bucking tell you pop culture figures popping out of nowhere isn't funny? God, I hate repeating myself, but it's like trying to tell a guy with a gun to stop shooting a person over and over again. Anyway, Chris is scouting Hoth, and he's attacked by the Cookie Monster. What did I just tell you? Anyway, we cut to the rebel base on Hoth, and Peter wants to leave the base, but Lois stops him. Peter then says that Lois is afraid he'll leave without kissing her. Lois then says that she'd rather kiss George Takei, and he pops up. Speaking in English isn't going to do me any good. Anyway, Quagmire says that Luke is missing, so Peter gets on his Don, which is a combo of Don Knotts and a Tauntaun, and searches for him. You know, they should make a board game out of this. It'll be called Find the Joke in Family Guy. Guess what? Nobody wins. So, Chris escapes the Cookie Monster cave and falls down on the snow. He's told by Herbert to go to the Dagobah system and find Yoda. Peter then finds Chris, and Rodney Dangerfield pops out of nowhere. I swear, this show relies more on pop culture than an internet reviewer. Eventually, Peter and Chris are found by fellow rebels, and Peter says that they're going to go back to the base, and then a Juicy Fruit commercial pops up. That's it. I'm convinced. Not only is this show written by manatees, it's written by manatees with Tourette's. They're just writing a bunch of random things that pop up, and yet they get a TV show out of it that people watch and actually find funny. Here, I'll show you. And so, Peter finds Chris and Rodney Dangerfield. They wait for a while in the snow, and Juicy Fruit. They keep waiting, and 80s, Bob Saget. So, they're back at the rebel base, and Lois calls Peter a nerf herder. Peter then hits Lois and says that only he can say that. See guys? It's Family Guy's subtle attempt at social satire. It's not funny. What comedy show hasn't made fun of racial slurs? Meanwhile, on a Star Destroyer, Stewie sets a course for Hoth. With the Empire coming in, the rebels get ready to defend themselves. Dak volunteers to destroy the whole Empire himself, so he gets in a fighter and flies up to the Empire ships, and he's blown up. You know what's more annoying than this show's idea of humor? When this show actually has a shot at being funny, but it fails horribly. Honestly, I saw that coming from a mile away. If I see a joke coming, then I don't find it funny. Maybe it would have worked if they had the rebels doubting Dak, and he actually turns out destroying a fair amount of the Empire, but then he gets killed. I can see me laughing at that, but no. I know exactly how that joke was going to be executed. I don't find this show funny when it's unpredictable, and I don't find it funny when it's predictable. I can't win! So, on Hoth, AT-ATs are coming towards the rebel base, and the rebels attack them. However, the Empire manages to make it to the base, but the rebels are able to escape. Stewie then sees that the girls are gone, so he farts. 3 times. Honestly, am I that bad for not finding farts funny? I mean, honestly, people, they're just bodily functions. What's so out of the norm or comedic about that? I mean, nobody laughs when somebody lifts their arms up or blinks their eyes. They're just natural movements. Are people seriously that entertained by farts? Something that simple? Well, in that case, look guys, a pin. Oh, this is my favorite episode. Watch this. Yeah, nobody trucks with Penn Pennington Jr. So, the Empire chases after the Millennium Falcon, and the good guys manage to get away. Peter then points to a pie floating in space and says, "You see that? It's a pie. I would love to eat it, but it's out in space, and I'm in here." You see this? This is a poor parody of a movie. I would love to laugh at it, but it's moronically written, and I'm a smart guy who's offended when jokes are explained to me like I'm a trucking idiot. So, Chris and Cleveland land in the swamps of Dagobah, and an Allstate commercial pops up. Okay, that's it. I'm about to burst out in a fit of rage. So, let me grab my script, make sure I get my words right. Alright. Come out, or blow your house in, said the wolf. Ooh, sorry, wrong script. Okay, here we go. Oh my fucking god, Special! Would you stop copying commercials? Is that seriously your idea of comedy? Commercials just popping out of nowhere? How lazy can humanities get? Are you lacking in so much comedic talent that you have to just take things and put them in your material and you pass it off as comedy? What the duck is wrong with you? You don't see me yelling Allstate or Juicy Fruit in my videos. Do you know why? Because I might not be funny, but at least I know how to structure jokes and execute them properly. All you do is copy and paste other people's material into your own crap. Most of that material wasn't even supposed to be funny in the first place. So if I didn't think it was funny the first time, I'm not going to think it's funny the 47th time! Screw this Special! Screw! La 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 it! So, Chris and Cleveland meet Yoda, voiced by H. John Benjamin. Oh, thank God, somebody who's funny. Maybe he'll offer some... Oh, who am I kidding? This is Family Guy. Anyway, I spit you not. They talk about the DVD for National Lampoon's Van Wilder and the DVD for Iron Man. I'm at a loss for words. This is a show that has higher ratings than The Simpsons. This? Man, Seth MacFarlane must have done a really good deed for Satan. So, on the Falcon, Lois and Peter are talking about fixing the ship and they kiss. On a Star Destroyer, Stewie is called by the Emperor, played by Carter Pewtersmith, and they talk about CDs. Wow, I never realized how easy comedy is. All I have to do is talk about things? I'll try that. This is my Pearl Jam CD. It basically has all their greatest hits from 1991 all the way to 2003. This is the perfect CD for Pearl Jam fans who want basically all their best songs, but can't afford all their albums. The first CD has all their songs that have their hard rock style to them, while the second disc is all about the band's ballads. I personally like the first disc best because I'm the grunge guy. Yeah, this is really funny, right? Oh wait, no one trucking is it? I mean, for real? Am I seeing this? Am I watching a show that is popular for God knows what reasons that actually thinks talking about CDs and DVDs is actual humor? What the fuck? You know what? I have to express my anger properly. I'm sick of using all these wimpy replacement swears. I'm going to use the real deal to show how much I despise this piece of crap show. This show is fuck! Inches! Okay, so back on Dagobah, it shows a montage of Chris training, and it shows back to back with Dolph Lundgren training from Rocky IV. Ah, good old stock footage. This is what animators use when they're too lazy to actually animate. Meanwhile, the Empire is looking for the Falcon, and the Falcon flies out of a giant moonworm that resembles Meg. Guys, I'm confused. Meg is ugly, right? So, back on Dagobah, Chris and Yoda talk about movies. Hey, manatees, let me offer you some friendly advice. You suck at comedy! So, Chris then goes into a cave and sees Stewie. Chris cuts his head off, and it's revealed that Chris's head is inside of Stewie's helmet. Chris and his severed head then sing a song. La 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 la. So, back in space, the Falcon manages to get away from the Empire, and Boba Fett, played by the Chicken, chases after them. The crew land on Cloud City and meet Lando, played by Mort Goldman. The crew is then led into a room where Stewie is, and Peter is captured, tortured, and eventually frozen in carbonite. Chris manages to make it to Cloud City, and the set of American Idol pops up, and Chris and Stewie meet. The crew of the Falcon escape the city while Chris and Stewie duel. After the duel, Chris falls down the air shaft, and he's dangling under the building, and he calls for help. And he also calls for Tom Selleck, and live-action footage of Tom Selleck pops up. You know, I can make it easy on myself, instead of writing jokes, just making celebrities appear out of nowhere. But I'm not going to do that. My standards are higher than, hey, Abbott! Chris is then picked up by the Millennium Falcon and flies off. They make it to a rebel standoff in space. Brian asks why Mort is wearing Peter's suit, and Brian turns to the audience and says, seriously, watch the actual movie. Lando is wearing Han's suit. Aw, that's cute. It thinks I care. So, Chris gets a robotic arm, and it ends the way it does in the actual movie, but then it decides that it doesn't like the ending, so it does a Back to the Future Part 2 ending, and copying scenes from movies still isn't funny, manatees. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but it isn't. Guess what? Afterwards, Peter and Chris talk about Robot Chicken again. Wow, these inside jokes suck so much I can actually feel them. You want to know what also sucks? My vacuum. And this trucking special! Honestly, what do I have to say? It's just Family Guy being Family Guy again, with the characters lacking character, the jokes failing constantly, the animation being jerky, and just being a horrible parody. I'm just glad that la 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 la. Hold on, cat! You've been walking around all through this video. Who the heck are you anyway? I'm Batman. La 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 la. The quicker I'm done reviewing these specials, the better. Anyway, I'm Benthelooney, and I'm signing out. Now, how about I keep talking about that Pearl Jam CD?